keepers finally let you out of the zoo, just shoot yourself and save me the bullet.
Smile, Castle! You're gonna see your family again!
The Punisher is built to end fights quickly with precision, overwhelming force, and, at times, with ease. But Bushwhacker was different. This wasn't just a mobster, and this wasn't just a street criminal. This was an enemy who could potentially outgun, outslug, and outlast Frank Castle, forcing the Punisher into a long, brutal war of attrition that he wasn't built for. Today we're breaking down why Bushwhacker is one of the most formidable foes that the Punisher has ever faced, and how Frank Castle survived someone who was engineered to kill even the likes of mutants. Before the weapons, before the cybernetics, and before the mercenary work where the name Bushwhacker was earned, he was Carl Burbank, a Catholic priest. Burbank didn't lose his faith in one moment, it eroded over time. He watched violence go unpunished, criminals walk free, and suffering repeat itself endlessly. Eventually, he came to a conclusion that mirrors Frank Castle's worldview, but without restraint. He believed mercy was weakness and punishment was truth. That belief caught the attention of the CIA. The agency didn't see a priest. They saw a man already prepared to justify violence. They recruited him, trained him, and rebuilt him into a government assassin. His arms were replaced with cybernetic weapon systems. His body was modified to endure damage no normal human could survive. Carl Burbank was erased, and Bushwhacker was created. That's what makes this rivalry unique. Frank Castle chose his path after tragedy, and Bushwhacker was designed for his. Bushwhacker removes everything Frank Castle relies on. His arms transform into firearms, shotguns, automatic weapons, and heavy caliber guns without warning. There is no reload window, no delay. When Bushwhacker raises his arm, death is immediate. Frank Castle thrives on preparation and control. Bushwhacker denies him both. Running out of ammo is never an issue for Bushwhacker. For Frank, it becomes a constant threat. This alone forces Frank into a reactive posture, something he hates. What makes Bushwhacker truly terrifying is that shooting him doesn't end the fight. His skin has been replaced with a malleable plastic-like armor that absorbs damage. When he's wounded, his body can liquefy to seal injuries. Gunshots that would kill most enemies barely slow him down. Bushwhacker has survived being burned, stabbed in the throat, and crushed, injuries that should be fatal. But against him, Frank's usual methods fail. Precision shots don't work, and sustained fire doesn't guarantee victory. For once, Frank Castle isn't the only one outlasting his opponent. Bushwhacker on the surface is stronger than Frank Castle. He can bend metal, shatter walls, and restrain the Punisher with raw force. He's also faster, dodging point-blank shotgun blasts and reacting quickly enough to challenge Daredevil. And beyond the enhancements, Bushwhacker received training in infiltration, assassination, and hand-to-hand combat during his tenure with the CIA. He reads environments the same way Frank does. He anticipates traps and he adapts. This is one of the rare fights where Frank Castle isn't the smartest man in the room. Bushwhacker doesn't panic and doesn't care about collateral damage. He uses civilians as shields. He forces Frank to choose between stopping him and saving innocent lives.
Heads up, Castle! Time to choose, Castle. Chase me or save the girl.
Can't let Joan die.
Every hesitation costs Frank time, and time is lethal against Bushwhacker. This isn't just a physical threat, it's psychological pressure. Bushwhacker turns Frank's moral code into a liability. Frank Castle doesn't beat Bushwhacker by overpowering him. He beats him by breaking him mentally. In Punisher War Journal number 12 through 13, Frank lures Bushwhacker onto a rain-soaked bridge. The environment limits Bushwhacker's mobility. Frank survives long enough for Bushwhacker's overconfidence to surface. He confronts Bushwhacker with his past as a priest, forces him into reflection. That moment costs Bushwhacker everything. The fight ends with him hanging over open air, defeated not by bullets, but by gravity and consequence. Bushwhacker's threat carries across media. Besides the 2005 Punisher game, he was also present in the 1994 game as a boss that worked for Kingpin. He's also in Punisher No Mercy, not as a boss, but just as a playable character, cementing his legacy as one of Frank Castle's most dangerous adversaries. Bushwhacker matters because he removes Frank Castle's shortcuts. He denies clean victories, quick kills, and forces Frank into prolonged violence. And the only reason the Punisher survives is because he adapts. Bushwhacker proves that Frank Castle isn't unstoppable because he's stronger. He's unstoppable because he refuses to quit. Now, if you want more breakdowns of the enemies who truly test Frank Castle, let me know in the comments, punch the like button, and please subscribe if you haven't already. The Punisher Mythos is out.
Can't leave Bushwhacker like this. He's got so much hardware in him, someone will patch him together again. Have to make a hole too big to patch. That should do it.
You bastard! What are you doing?
Disarming you. I don't smile much. Don't smile ever. But if I did, this would be one.